The reality is you're right. And it's maybe even the reason deep down inside why I split Cyprus into two. But what you're wrong is I try to be a man that is all about the principles I build, even if I don't agree with it. And the reality is, right or wrong, the regret I do have is not bringing you to the north initially, thinking that the south could use someone like you. Someone to keep them in check, keep them aware of who they should be. And if they don't be aware of that, they will be sad what they will become. And life being life, we probably got the worst possible outcome of the entire situation. I'll tell you one thing. The southern leaders are weak. You are right. They don't believe in any principle that we have spent so much time building. This back and forth between the north and the south has become a game of who can manipulate the traditions and principles as much as we can to be petty. And how can we use these traditions and these principles to our benefit, and not to follow them only because they are that, traditions and principles. That is why when Clark made such a weak decision to blood you out on an impulse because he was having a bad day, he couldn't commit to what he did. And that is why when Arush saw an opportunity to finally get rid of what he thought was a problem, he took it and commanded and demanded he be blooded out. And by Clark's hand, it was done. Now, we can sit here and argue whether it was right or wrong, whether you deserved it or not, but none of that matters. You know why? Because if you were to believe in, if I were to believe in Martin, anybody here in this shithole, this hell that we've built, it doesn't matter. That's the thing about Cyprus. If Don makes the call, it's a call we gotta live with. Right or wrong, doesn't matter. If we are truly to be Cyprus in the way that we've built it, which I just said is absolute hell, well, we gotta go through what we built. We gotta stick by the ideology even if we don't agree with it, otherwise what the fuck is the point? Now, I told you, speak to the Dons in the south, try to find a way out, see if there's opportunity, but deep down I knew that this moment right here was coming all along. I just didn't want to be the one to do it. And quite frankly, you know, deep down inside I would have loved to, I've even contemplated leaving all this behind me. Fuck Cyprus, fuck the south, fuck everything we've built, let's start anew. But the reality is, what kind of man will I be or just to escape the purgatory that I built for myself? I'd be weak. I'd be like Luciano, Harry Brown. I could never be that. I never was that.
Use the bullet, Mr. Lang.
That's what you don't understand, Ilya. You said yourself, nobody follows principles around here anymore. So why should I? Well, the reality is, maybe that's why I'm different. I may be petty. I may be a hypocrite. I may do right, I may do wrong. But whatever adventure I set off on, I try to live by the principles that I build around it. I'll tell you one last thing. When I inevitably take Cyprus as a whole and run it the way it should be ran, I'll make sure your memory is never forgotten, Ilya. Goodbye, my friend.
Oh.
That's something else you don't understand. When you leave Cyprus, you leave through these waters. Not with your brother.